Do you know what episode it is?
It is episode 183. So welcome everybody to episode 183 of the Bench Time podcast with Todd and Brett Wiley.
It's been a while, man.
This is the first episode.
It took almost a month, dude.
We haven't talked to you guys since last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We promised a Christmas one.
I know, but the holidays.
But we're busy, man. They got family and shit.
Yeah, no one wants to listen to us. Go hang out with your families on the holidays.
Right.
But yeah, no. I'm glad to be back. We had a good holiday week, a couple weeks. Dude, that was the first.
If you're sitting at home Christmas week and you don't have and we're all you had to listen to,
I feel bad.
You need a hobby.
Well.
Oh. You do have a hobby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, They could be listening to us while they're working on their hobby. But then there's also 182 other episodes to listen to.
Right.
Hopefully everybody wasn't disappointed with the porpoise episode. Because
I think it was hilarious.
That might have been one of our top episodes ever. As far as... I mean, not top... Okay, well, like George Salios, you can't top that. You can't top, like, Dave Frary and those guys. But I'm talking about top classic... Todd and Brett Wiley.
Oh, yeah.
That episode was it was like, I don't think I laughed that hard in months.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. But,
I don't know if this week's will live up to the porpoise episode, but we'll try our best.
We'll see what we got going on.
I got some stories. My dad's got some stories. I got a story to start off, and it is modeling related. Kind of. I can squeeze modeling into it. So... I don't know. How long have I been working full time? Since I've been...
I don't know. Oh, my God.
19 or 20?
Since you were in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
you were in college and you were working full time.
Yeah. So since I've been 19, I have never taken off the week between Christmas and New Year's. Ever. Like, I just don't do it. Like, there's stuff going on. I'm busy. I could be making money, etc. Like, whatever. I was young. When you're younger, there's no reason to. Like, just go to work. You go to work.
Yeah.
That's like when I've realized now how many people.
Money's pretty damn important back then.
Well, yeah.
Pretty important now.
Yeah, and when you're younger, it's like you're
even more so.
When you're younger and you're starting a family, you just work. You don't take off. So, this year first of all, I was told at work to kind of, hey, you should probably take a break. So. It's cool that my team recognized that, and they're like, hey, man, we got it. Take off. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So here I am,
cool.
Getting ready. I'm like, this is going to be good. This is going to be great.
Were you stressing out on them?
No, I don't know. Me. I'm not a stress guy.
No.
I'm not a stress guy.
Yeah.
So the most stressed I get is watching my sports. That's it. But anyways, so.
They just want you to burn out, right?
Yeah, well, they were like, hey, well, first of all, I had like, a stupid amount of vacation time saved up.
Right.
And so I just took it, burn it at the end of the year here, and
cool.
All right, so I'm going into this week. I'm getting into the week here. I'm like, all right, I got a whole week off. I got 10 days off. I can do whatever I want. And the first 2 days, I'm not going to lie, actually, that was Saturday and Sunday was Christmas and Christmas Eve. So that was already chewed up. But that got through, and I'm like, all right, I got time to work on the workbench, work at my layout, work downstairs, get some running done, get some things ready, just things I want to do.
Yeah, I get it.
But you got to keep in mind, Kristen's a teacher, so she's off all week.
Uh-huh.
And the girls are off all week because they're off school. So, I'll summarize my week off with two sentences. I was productive at the workbench because I did work on some scenery down at the layout, and I built a small structure. That was fun. I got some tidying up done around the workbench, which is always, it might not feel like you're doing work around your layout or with your models, but when you can just spend like an hour or two just like moseying around and like, I don't need that. I don't need this. Like when you're done with that, we've talked about this before. What the hell did you just do?
I just spilled beer on my lap.
No!
On my lap.
That's a crime.
This is the first. You go on with your story.
All right.
I'll paper towel my crotch.
Can you hear me still?
I hear you.
All right. So while my dad is patting his...
Oh, that's disgusting.
My dad is patting his crotch, his beer crotch down. So
I can't believe I did that.
So, anyways, it was productive in the sense that I felt like I got somewhere with some work on the layout, work on my buildings, cleaning up my shop a little bit, just some housekeeping stuff. Felt good. But then the other half of what you don't realize when you're off for 10 days with your kids in the house in the winter is you're ready to go back to work. Like, you're ready.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So while I still enjoyed and valued the time that I had with my family,
Where's the dog when I need him?
He ain't gonna. You don't want him drinking that beer.
Why? Ugh. Okay.
Well, it might make his leg feel better. But anyways.
Go ahead. Anyways, you were productive.
What I was saying was I was productive, but at the same time, at the end of that week, you realize quickly when you're off for 10 days in the winter with your wife and kids that you're ready to go back to work.
Were you having shining moments?
No, because I could just escape to the basement.
That's true, yeah.
I'd be like, hey, I'm going to go downstairs and work. And then I just put on college. There's a million bowl games on, so I just put a bowl game on and I would work down here for an hour or two. Right. And I'd come back up when my blood pressure subsided and I could go back upstairs. But no, it was good. I mean, but like I said, at the end of that week, it's different. It's kind of like when you take off and you go on vacation, and then at the end of your vacation week, you're like, all right, I'm ready to go back to work. Like, it's weird. You don't want to go to work, but at the same time, you want that, like, routine back.
Nah, man, I get that with 3-day weekends. If I have, like, a holiday on a Monday, like this Monday, we have a holiday.
I like my routine.
I'll be off for 3 days, and on Tuesday, man, by Monday night, I'm like, I want to go to work.
Well, it's not even that I want. No. It's I would rather spend my time at home with my family and kids. Yeah. But at the same time, I like my routine where I got a nice 40-minute ride to work. I can listen to my audiobooks or blare some music, and then I can work for my day, and then I can de-stress on the way home. When I come home, I'm not stressed because I had a 40-minute drive home, and and it's just different. And the only and
God, and then I take a shower.
Yeah, you're gonna smell like beer.
After this, oh my word!
You're gonna smell like a. You're gonna smell like a dive.
Sweatpants.
You're gonna smell like
on my sleeve of my shirt, on the floor, on my bar stool here, my padded bar stool.
You're gonna smell like a dive bar.
Oh my God! And it's that holiday cheer beer from Shiner.
Yeah.
Shiner beer holiday cheer.
You like that stuff?
I do. Well, it's only seasonal. They only have it for so long, so.
It's only seasonal if you run out.
I like the regular Shiner. That's right. I mean, if I go load up on it, it may not taste real good in a couple months.
No.
Still. But anyhow, so anyways, you're telling your funny story.
And it's not really funny. It's just like, I do have a funny story, but it's not modeling related. It happened on my trip.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. It was a trip on my vacation.
Yeah.
My holiday vacation, and you know what the trip was.
Yeah.
Should I talk about it now, and then we get into modeling?
Yeah, do it now. Then let's get into modeling.
All right. It's all right. So I won't even say. I want to lead into it. So the girls, we wanted to do a day trip while we were off, and what better place to go visit between Christmas and New Year's than New York City?
2 days before New Year's Eve.
2 days before New Year's Eve at Times Square, we decide, let's just go take a day trip to Times Square.
With 2 little girls.
With an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. So here we are. We didn't tell them we were going. They've never been to New York City, which was cool, right? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Oh, man, it just cut out real quick. All right. Yeah, so
are we running? Is it still running?
We're still up and running, but they've never been to New York City. It was fun. We got to see the Rockefeller Center with the Christmas tree, and we got to see all the cool Christmas stuff,
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it took from my house about 3 hours to get to Newark and Jersey City, which are just bright shining examples of America. And and you don't stop for gas in those cities. The only thing you stop for is traffic. And then the last mile and a half took an extra hour because the Lincoln Tunnel, and you get in the city and yada yada. I enjoyed driving in New York City in that traffic. My wife, on the other hand, I think she's gonna have to go get a pacemaker installed. I think I did permanent heart damage to her while I was driving because
You're a little aggressive when you're, but that's not in a bad way.
That's my scene. Like I like it.
Yeah, you're good in heavy traffic, in pressure areas like that.
That was like my thing.
I know because I rode with you this last fall in Dallas, downtown Dallas.
Yeah, through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metro.
Yeah, we're in 8 lanes of traffic, and you're like zipping, and you're like zipping right through, right and left. And I'm like, oh, dang. You know, if it had been anybody else, I know you're good that way. So if it had anybody else I was in the car with, I'd have been white knuckling that freaking and ripping a claw marks on the side of your passenger door.
We have no dents. We had no dents, and we had no accidents on either trip, so we were good. But I gotta tell my funny story, and this is typical New York. All right, so we are we're leaving the American Girl doll store, which drained my wallet. We'll just say that. But you know, the girls, they're only at this age once. They're only in the dolls once.
Yeah.
We got them the American Girl doll stuff, whatever.
Right. And it's New York City.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was like, let's go in and just look.
Right.
Because they wanted to go to the Lego store. It was a 2-hour wait to get in the Lego store.
Oh God!
And then,
there's a big chunk of your day in New York City.
Just waiting in line for the Legos. But anyways, so
Dang.
It was 10 minutes to get in the American Girl doll store. So we went in, and I was like, hey, we're just gonna look.
We should have went in the summer.
I know. Well, we probably will, because the girls want to go see the Statue of Liberty. But anyways, all right. So we leave the American Girl doll store. We don't need to go in that story. The girls drain my wallet, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
We're leaving there, and we're walking down Fifth Avenue, and this guy, and I don't need to tell you the type of guy. I'm just going to say he was a short, dumpy guy with a fun hat. And what's that?
I remember the story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So he walks, we're in a section of the city now. This block that we were on, there was no one on, miraculously, on 5th Avenue. And we were walking like down like the jewelry section, like the high end district. What do they call it? Whatever they call it, like something Diamond District.
Yeah.
We're walking down through there, and this guy plows my older daughter over, like knocks her over, and it just keeps walking. And I might not have done this in Philly, but I yelled out to the guy and I said,
"Other sections in New York where you probably couldn't have done that either."
No, but Manhattan, we were 4 blocks from Times Square. I felt safer.
Yeah.
And this guy did not look threatening. He looked like he was on his way to Cinnabon. But I said, "Hey, asshole!" And I don't usually do that in front of my kids. I was like, "Hey, asshole! You just knocked my daughter over." And he turns around in his thick accent, and he's like, I'm not even going to try to imitate it. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't see her there." I'm like, "How could you not see her? We're the only people on the sidewalk here." Yeah. And then I said, I wouldn't have cared if you bumped into me, but you knocked a little 8-year-old over.
Yeah.
And in typical New York fashion, but in the nicest way he could have said it. Yeah, he goes, "Well, I'll go back in the door and come back out and knock you over, and we'll restart from the beginning."
Oh man, I'm glad I went along.
And I said, but he laughed about it then. Like I couldn't be mad at the guy because it was funny.
Yeah,
it's something I would have said.
Right.
And
I get it.
I mean, I wouldn't knock an 8-year-old girl over, but whatever.
Right.
And then he's like, and then he laughs about it, and he gets down on his knee, and he said sorry to my daughter, and then we were on our merry way, and when everything was good. But I was like, Kristen's in the background, like, why'd you just yell at that guy? You don't know what he was. I was like, look at that guy. He's walking down to get he's getting a hot dog on the street corner here. He's not intimidating. But either way, New York was a zoo, and it was fun though. So that's the end of my non-modeling talk.
Guess what the dog's doing right now.
I will say one thing about our New York trip. Yeah. We walked 8 miles that day, and neither girl complained.
Wow, that's amazing. No meltdowns.
And probably because I got them American Girl doll stuff, but also because But it was, as a parent, when your kids are at the edge of no longer having fun.
Yeah.
When I called it and
I had one. Remember? He's talking right now.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But what I'm saying is, no. When your kids are having fun, but they're like, you can call the end of the day right before that cliff.
Yep.
So the girls are having a blast, and I was like, all right, we're heading back to the car, and my older daughter's like, well, I don't want to leave yet. Like, we got time, and we had still had time up there, and I was like, I leaned over and I was like, listen, your little sister is having a ton of fun right now, but we can tell that she's on the edge of that plateau of it's no longer fun for anybody when she gets over that edge. So I was like,
I know.
I was like, we need to leave now while we're on a good note. And then everyone was like, all right, we're good. We're going to leave now. And so, anyways, that's it. I took up too much time with that talk. Let's get into some other stuff.
Yeah, so we've been modeling. Got some, I've been doing, you've been doing a shit ton of modeling.
I've been doing modeling and some scenery work.
Yeah, well, most of mine's scenery work as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's half your thing.
Wait, I got to get it out of here and to your house.
Yeah, it's taking up like 3/4 of your room.
Yeah, I know.
It's blocking your TV.
Well, it's 29. It is blocking my TV. It sucked during bowl season. Okay? Because I could have been in here watching the bowl games doing something else. But this thing's blocking my flat screen TV that sits on the opposite table. So, anyhow, I could have just moved the TV to another spot, but then, I can't get one.
Nah, that's too much, yeah.
Anyways, I'm to the point now with this diorama. It's a drop-in diorama. It's going to fit right into to the layout. We measured down there was you and I spent some time down there last week. On the layout at your place, and I took some measurements and went into a panic mode, thinking that the river isn't going to match up because we measured.
Well, and then you had me thinking
really measure up.
Because there was when you were doing that, you had called me a bunch and said, "Hey, I need you to give me measurements," and we did this a few times, a few nights. Where you were like, hey, I need you to shoot me these measurements. And I go downstairs and I do the measurements. And I actually did a FaceTime with you a couple times to get them right.
Right.
And then you had me thinking, oh, shit, did I screw it up and give you all the wrong measurements?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, too. But in a way, when I was down there taking the measurements, I'm looking at it and I'm going, man, this ain't right. This ain't right. And something's majorly messed up here. It's me. It was actually me. But it's a simple thing. It's not really a big issue. I'm an inch short from where it has to fit.
That's the story of our lives.
I had to put it in. Right. So I had to put. I had to put one more 1-inch layer of foam underneath this thing, which is fine. You're not even going to see it. Okay, it's just going to rise the thing up to where it matches with the actual layout and the rivers join. But I'm measuring it just to double check because I was looking at it, I was like, something's not right here. And I started measuring and I got all these measurements down. And I remember I took a piece of cardboard and actually jotted down little notes and stuff with lines and stuff, marking everything on the exact corner so I could take that piece of cardboard home with me and match it up to the actual diorama that I just built, right? But I'm panicking, and while I'm doing it, I'm thinking, man, my kid's really good with math and numbers. He has been all his life.
I can count to 10.
Maybe I didn't teach him how to use a fucking ruler, you know? And that's all I'm thinking, right? And I wasn't mad. I was just like, man, how did we mess this up somehow? And I wrote down the actual measurements that you had, that you gave me when we were FaceTiming it. And I measured it exactly right. It was my measurement. I just took off 1 inch, and I didn't think about the 1 inch, that we're 1 inch lower on the one tabletop than we are not the actual layout,
right?
But
so
the actual scenery on that side.
So it's all good though.
Anyhow. Yeah. So it's all good now. I just got to put I just got to get one more piece of 1 inch extruded foam, 24 by 29. And I don't even have to get it that big, man. I only have to get it. I could put like two, 12-inch by 24-inch pieces on each side, and not really anything in the center, just to lift it up. I just need to put them in the corners and lift the damn thing up,
Right.
and put it in. Okay, so it's not even a part of the scenery. It's something that nobody will see. I just got to lift it up 1 inch.
Yeah, it's just a slight
And the easiest way to do that is
adjustment.
going to take my scrap foam. I have scrap foam, pieces of scrap foam. I'm just going to slide them underneath, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm panicking. I'm like, oh shit! I got home here and I'm measuring. I'm like, oh, what how can I put this cardboard up to it and it worked. And I was like, it's matched. It matched. What the? I said, I gotta put an inch underneath it. So not a big deal.
Just
it
an
was
inch.
high enough as it is. Now it's gonna be an extra. It's gonna be another inch high.
Just
How
an
high
inch.
is this son bitch? But it's so I'm working this thing. It's not even a foot tall. I mean, from the top of the base.
I'm sorry, what?
To the bottom of the base.
It's got to be.
It's not even a foot. It's not. I just put my HO scale rule on there, which is 12 inches long, right? So even though it's an HO scale rule,
I measured it against myself, so yeah, it's 12 inches.
From the top to the bottom, I still have 2 inches. It's 9 inches.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's 10 inches. So I'll be putting.
We'll get there.
11
We'll get there
inches
eventually with
so-
these measurements, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, right.
We're
So,
all over the place.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to do it. My shoulders all bitched up.
Your shoulders
now,
all
it's, like, hurting
crazy.
and
Look,
stuff.
your shoulders all messed up. You got beer on your lap. We understand.
I'm a mess right now, man. It's winter, so yeah,
You got
I
winter
hate
brain
winter.
on.
the arthritis kicks in.
Hey,
Everything,
you know what
right?
though? This winter has been a pleasure so far, and I probably just jinxed ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't. Yeah, right. Thanks, buddy. So anyways, I'm working this diorama, and I got, and it's turning out really good. I did that backside with the creek, the river going into the backside of it
Yeah.
underneath the mill. You can get on our Facebook. You can see our pages.
That looks
pictures on there.
phenomenal.
And I put a stream in, and the stream looked really good. It turned out really nice for me. I was very fortunate. I wasn't afraid of the stream.
That's
Okay.
good.
I had no fear doing the stream. Okay, that was not a problem. It was because I knew that was going to turn out right. I did a stream before. Okay, my biggest problem I was in fear of, and we're going to talk about that today, is the canyon with the river, the waterfalls. Okay, I was putting it off. I should have done it a long time ago.
You know what that?
Okay?
You know
I
what
should have
that?
done it before Christmas. A month.
You know
I
what-
was afraid.
You know what that?
What?
I'm gonna cut in. You know what your canyon and waterfalls needs?
What are you doing? Are you running in there?
No, it's the kids up.
Are you jogging?
No, the kids just came home from gymnastics, so they're on like level 1,000.
Oh, okay. Practicing.
Well, they were at gymnastics tonight, so I'm sure they're doing more in my house.
Yeah, they were doing gymnastics at my house on the weekend. I know all about how that works.
We got them. This
Yeah.
is a side story. We got them for Christmas. They got all their gifts from Santa, but we got them a springboard. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I got them a.
Don't bring it to my house.
I got them a springboard. It's 12 feet long, and now they can run down.
Oh.
Now they run down the hall and jump onto the springboard and do all their flips and crap. So it's great. They're probably doing that right now.
Wow.
So, anyways,
So
go back to that.
So, yeah, if you want, I got plaster. You can make casts for their legs when they break. So
I got plenty of that down here. I got that, and I got a bunch of paper scraps. I can make a plaster Paris.
I foresee trips to the hospital. I'm sorry.
But hey, you know what?
And I hate
Hey,
to say it, they're my grandchildren.
listen.
Yeah.
This is a side note, and you put me through hockey, and now, fortunately, I
A
never
lot of hockey.
I never broke a bone. I had plenty of injuries. I never broke a bone
Right.
playing hockey. But
Yeah.
gymnastics, when I first got the girls into it, I thought, yeah, this is a good sport for them. Like it's look, they're tumbling on a mat. They're learning how to do cartwheels.
Uh-huh.
And then now, my older daughter is like on the uneven bars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit,
That's amazing.
this is dangerous. And I'm like, Now it's uneven bars for 8-year-olds, so like they have a huge pad underneath it.
Right,
but at the same time, I'm like, this is terrifying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And gymnastics, once you like sit down and watch what they do, it's dangerous.
Oh, it's very dangerous.
But I also get a huge kick out of watching them like learn how to do a forward handspring. So it's entertaining. Like I could watch them do gymnastics all day.
Cool.
As they get better at it, because it's stuff I can't do. Anyways, go on.
Anyways, I was making this canyon.
They're doing that upstairs right now.
Which has nothing to do with gymnastics.
No, but that's what the noise is.
I know. I heard the noise. Okay. So, I didn't make.
Oh,
canyon.
I didn't say what I wanted to say. Your
Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Your canyon. You know what your canyon needs?
What?
It needs some like a little, like posted signs looking.
Yeah.
But little posted size of a posted sign on a post.
Right.
That say like danger rapids or danger.
No fishing. No
fishing. No swimming. You need like little signs on posts.
Well, I can't do that because I bought a fisherman. But okay.
Well, he could be breaking the law. I see plenty of fishermen around here doing that.
I'll put him right next to the sign. That's a great idea.
But you should, yeah. And then you can have like no swimming signs too, because like you could say like danger, turbulent water, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you should have that like posted no fishing, and then have a guy fishing beside it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do something.
That's a cool idea, because people do it anyways.
On the canyon, I had not done it. I was afraid. I looked at it and I did this marvelous work, I feel, on the rock work. I had many people that complimented it and said, "Hey, your rocks are spot on. It's amazing what you did with them."
Means 6.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
All 6 of those people.
All 6 of our listeners.
Right, and they don't even model. So I've been putting it off, and I started doing everything else on this thing. Okay, everything, all the other scenery, everything, and I kept looking at it, and it's like something doesn't look right. Something doesn't look right. That canyon looks like shit. There's something about the canyon. I think I did where the waterfalls and the different steep levels that are coming down the steps.
Yeah, you have a bunch of levels on it.
Right, and when I looked at it, I'm like, this looks stupid because it has no water, right? So I'm not envisioning it right, and it's bothering me. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna do this whole damn thing, and then when I'm done, and I'm gonna go do this, and it's gonna be beautiful up until the point I do this waterfall,
and then you felt like you were gonna ruin it.
Up. Right, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna gank it up. I don't even want to do the damn waterfall. That's how I felt until this week when I did the waterfall. Right. Because it's the last damn thing I have to do. And I was like, it's one of those things where you take the Band-Aid and you go, I got to rip it off right now. I'm going to do the waterfall, right?
What's the worst that's going to happen?
Right. What is going to happen is the resin's going to stick to everything, and I'll never, ever get it out. I'm going to take a goddamn box cutter and go down through it and cut all the plaster and foam out and replace it with something.
Right. So you only set yourself back about 8 weeks.
Yeah, exactly, because it's going to take me 7 of those 8 weeks to cut through the resin. Okay, so I'm afraid to do it, and so it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. You got to take that leap of faith and do it. Okay.
Well, here's the thing: we all know what needs to be done.
Right.
So, and that's a lesson in everything we model.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm only pausing here. Like,
right.
There's certain things that I fear doing on the layout.
Yeah.
And we all do this, but you look at it and you're like, I don't know. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done this yet. But then once you do it, you're like, okay, well, it turned out good.
Right.
So once you've done a bunch of modeling and once you kind of know the basic principles, even though you fear doing that, you have to just jump in and do it.
Right. And I knew I was going to at some point, right?
Right, but I'm just saying it's a lesson in model building or modeling. Like, if it's something new, you still have the fundamentals. You have the fundamentals to do what you need to do. It's just something that it's outside your comfort zone.
Right.
So just jump in and do it. Because the other thing you don't want...
I learned so much from this.
The other thing you don't want is analysis paralysis.
Right.
And you had that.
Yeah,
where
I
you
did.
where you kind of had a
kept
little
thinking
bit
about it. One of my
you had a little bit of paralysis with it, where you're like, oh, like I don't know
Yeah.
yet, I don't know. But then once you started it, you're like, all right, it's working, because you were texting me during it, like, dude, check this out, check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I would look at it and I was like, okay, it's time to do it. Nah, you know what? I think I'll paint a figure. You know? I don't think I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to paint a figure.
I think I'll put eyes on that teddy bear.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then, I did that. And we'll talk about that. But then, I would do something else. I would put on a railing over the bridge. Or I was doing all these different things that I probably should do now. I should be doing now and with the waterfall done.
After the fact.
After the fact, right? But I was postponing it. But anyways, I did the rear river, and it turned out good. I learned a lot of things. Thank you to Doug Viscali. I'm not going to take full credit for the design of this, because I went by basically the pattern and diorama plan that came with the actual kit.
Well, I mean, you built it up quite a bit, though.
Atlas boards. I did, and I did. I kept it the same. It looks very similar to what he did. However, there were nuances and things that I changed about it.
There were some small adjustments to fit into the corner of the layout we need.
Right, that absolutely. The river and the waterfall fall a lot differently than his do.
Yeah,
my rocks are extreme. I bet you there's 3 or 4 times the amount of rock going down through and around this thing than what is on the one he did. Okay, but I'm also viewing mine in a 360 realm, where his diorama wasn't quite viewed exactly the same.
Right.
And so that was a little different. But the placement of the buildings, the measurements on some of the top part was all very, very exact almost. There were some things I changed and some details with the scenery. I added a whole lot more trees. On the backside, I bought and put a giant steel water tower.
Which looks
Falls.
Incredible, yeah.
It looks cool behind there. It was just something neat. I saw it and I was like,
"Would you name it?"
I put on the top. It says Varga Falls.
Oh man, Frank will love that.
Because the whole building, the big mill building, is Hatchie and Varga.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, now it's not just the structure that's dedicated to Frank.
Right.
It's the entire like that geological formation now. It's a Frank thing.
Well, no, it's just the tower and the
Varga
building.
Falls.
No. I see what you're saying. Yeah, the name of.
No, what I'm saying is now the waterfalls that you created on that diorama are Varga Falls. It's a Frank Varga Falls.
Okay, yeah, very good point.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, it's neat. By the way,
anyway,
Frank, if you are listening, hope you and your family are doing well. We haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah. Right. Sure, we'll have to get him. We'll try and get him on. I think he is modeling again a little bit.
Yeah,
anyhow,
well, he had a lot going on, so he got a new family.
So I started looking at videos and stuff and how to do the white water of a waterfall. I didn't want it to just be a trickling waterfall, okay? And then, and because it pours hard out of that, well, it does on Doug's as well, that's kind of what I wanted to just kind of extend off of that. But the spillway in the front, that says 2 holes where it pours out from underneath the ground, from underneath the mill.
Right.
And it starts down the waterfalls. Well, it's going to come out there hard, right? So I wanted to continue hard because my falls are steep and they go down a long way. Of the 8 or 9 of the 9 inches of the height in my diorama here, 7 of that is waterfalls, 7 inches going down at a steep angle and at a curve. Okay, so I want it coming down fast, and it's because of the angle and the amount of room I had to build it in, and the height it was at. I had no choice but to make that hard pouring waterfall. Very rough water coming down, hard white foam. So I went online, Google's image search. I do a lot of that, by the way, especially for scenery.
Yeah.
And I looked up some waterfalls that were, hard, Russian waterfalls, big ones though. Not those little trickle one.
No, you're dropping
5 foot.
You're dropping 10
long way.
10 or 12 more feet per level.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's coming down.
Now
hard.
I got a question.
If you go to like Watkins Glen in New York,
I got a question.
It's like that. If you go to Ricketts Glen in Pennsylvania, it's like that.
So I have a question on that. Did you create little pools where the hard water is falling?
Well, you can. I created a couple little pools.
Well, I'm
Not
saying
many,
just because
you don't have enough room.
No,
mostly it's taken by foam.
I understand. But where the water hits the initial bedrock,
right?
Did you create like a little bit of a wider area?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like any natural fall would have some erosion where that initial overflow hit.
Overflow hit. Oh, yeah, it does on the one left side. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind.
It does have erosion. It's further away.
Just as a update.
On both sides, actually on the right side. Now I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, I'm
where
saying
at one point it was wider than what it used to be.
Naturally, where a falls is constantly hitting a rock surface or the bottom of a creek bed or a river bed.
Right.
There would be a little bit wider of a pool, and then it would kind of regroup and come back into a stream shape.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. I have one section in the middle that has a pool, and then it starts to drop again.
Okay.
And it's not a real big pool.
Well, for all intents and purposes, you did.
The rushing water is the steep levels that it drops down, each step down. It's narrow because I only have so much space to drop it in.
Right.
And then as a result, you have to create at the bottom of each fall. Especially dropping 8-10 feet, it's gonna have to.
Well, and the other thing
it's gonna be a hard foam.
The other thing
off of that, the white water.
The other thing you have to remember is this would be a result of a man-made mill or industrial diversion of a river or a stream, so it wouldn't have had hundreds of thousands of years worth of erosion to create those deep pools. So
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
So, and not even so much that, it's just that, I needed the hard white foam. Okay, the hard white water.
Hard white foam.
Yeah, well, the foam at the bottom, the froth and foam.
No, I know. Foam. I get it.
That's a term that I got from watching many videos and watching 1,000 million times, whatever that is.
1,000 million.
Kathy Malott did a couple waterfall things. But she has recreated water with the foam. If you've ever seen any of her videos, and dioramas and things that she's built, she did one with a motorboat or a jet ski type thing, and she had white foam off the water coming from that, spraying off it. I'm sure you've seen that. Yeah. And then she's also has some ones with waterfalls. And what she did, and the technique that I took from her as a result, she has one on there called, it's like a rubber river. She used some kind of clear liquid rubber to pour it, not resin. Okay, I used the resin. She used this rubber river, and I think it's called Rubber River with a Waterfall or something like that. And I watched it a million times. I don't know what the hell it's called. You think I would? But to make the waterfall itself, she mixed her product that she used of the rubber was like clear silicone caulk. Okay. That type of material, and she mixed that with this Woodland Scenics. I have it here right now. Soft flake snow. Okay, it's very fine. It's when you're going to model snow on your model railroad. This is the shit you use to model snow. I'm not modeling snow. But I watched her mix this stuff in with this silicone caulk, and she's painted it on there, and it was like awesome. It made it pop, and that's what she did. She said with her other dioramas with the boat and everything else, with the water coming off the speedboat and all that, and partying the water. And she used this stuff with it.
I will say, when you told me the other night that you were getting ready to mix in the snow with the snow foam with the water, I was like, oh, like I'm not sure about how that's gonna look. And then once you showed me I think you told me to look out Kathy's video.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, well that that looks good. And I mean, well, sorry, it looks great because she did it. And then I was like, I was still skeptical. Like, I don't know how it's gonna look.
I ain't Kathy, right?
Right. And then when
I mean, I'm not Kathy Malott. I don't model like Kathy Malott.
But
once
you sent me the pictures of it, I was like, all right, well, that's a thing. Like, that's good.
Right. So I mixed it in. I used silicone caulk to make the actual the forms of the falls, the underneath part that bows out a little bit and then drops. And I did that's Doug's method. You can look it up or find out how it's done. Kathy does the same thing with hers. And then you drape it over from the top of the bottom of the fall and glue it into place. But it needed to have the foam added to it. And you do that after the resin. I poured the resin next. That was a tricky, scary part for me on this. I poured the resin. So now
because we've not worked with resin a lot.
Well, I have on the other mod.
No, I'm saying
the other part of the river.
Yeah, but it was in a different manner.
Right. It's deeper pools, and it's a lot less moving.
It wasn't. Okay? It wasn't a body of water that was moving fast.
Not this hard.
It was a mill, which was kind of dammed up, which a mill would be.
And it has a couple waterfalls on it, but they're very far apart.
Right.
So, anyhow, on this, I'm thinking about a creek bed style, but you can't do a creek bed where you put dirt and everything else down in it.
No,
because you're never going to see it.
This isn't the yellow breeches here.
So now I'm thinking, what color do I tint this shit? I got to tint the resin. I can't just leave it totally clear because it's going to look too shiny, right? So I start mixing the resin and I put in some raw umber, kind of like what Kathy did in hers.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, I poured it and it looks I poured a little bit at the top. I had it all taped off thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to do one level at a time all the way down through. Okay. At the top of each drop off, I took a hot glue gun and ran it across the top so it doesn't run down, but it's, it dries clear.
Yeah.
It's crystal clear. So you can't even see the hot glue gun stuff even now. And then I filled it up to the top very edge of where that hot glue gun stopped. Right. And then I poured that resin in, but it was brownish color. And I'm like, not real bright brown.
Were you panicking a little bit?
Yeah, and I'm like, man, it looks like dirty. Looks like somebody shit in the water, right? So
it's like the water below the treatment plant.
And I'm panicking a little bit, so I grabbed this murky green color, and I mixed it in there. So we gotta get a little green because at the bottom after it gets through the falls, it's got to turn a little green so it blends in with the other river, which is green as it slows down, right?
Yeah.
So let's put a little bit of green tint in with a brown. Oh, I'm like, oh no, this sucks, and I started pouring it and I'm like, oh, now it looks like sewage water, and I'm like, this is bad. So I took a siphon thing, one of those pipettes, and I started suctioning this stuff out as quick as I can, right? It's clogging the whole tip out.
Now you're panicking.
Else. It's resin, right? I got it out for the most part. Okay. But when it was all done, I spared some of I had another container of resin and I poured that, put a little tint to it. Even then it had a little bit of a green tint. But what happened now is this shit is starting to go down. I thought I had it all sealed up. It's dropping to the next level. It's dropping to the next level. It's dropping. I'm like, oh no, right? This is going to be too much at the bottom. It's going to overflow my I kind of taped off the very, very edge at the bottom of the riverbed.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the resin's going down all over the place, and I'm like, oh no, this is ruining it. And it's got a yellowish tint to it, but when it dried out, when it was dried and it cured, you didn't see that much of it. So, and then where I didn't like some of the yellow greenish parts, I took some of the white gloss gel medium from Liquitex from the art store, and I just painted it over top, it real thick, and let that just dry out, and then it made it clear over top of it, and you couldn't see any of that yellow underneath, which is fine anyways.
Yeah.
It turned out good on that end, but it was really shiny now. And I'm like, okay, so I let it go and cure for 48 hours or so, and then I started making the snow stuff and putting it in place, and I'm like, oh my God, it hides anything, it hides every flaw, and you put it everywhere you thought was a flaw. No way. You can control this stuff and put it everywhere you want. I mixed mine instead of mixing it with the silicone gel or the silicone caulk. I mixed mine with the gloss gel medium, the Liquitex, and I mixed it in with that in a little plastic cup, and I put it in I put it wherever I needed the white frothy foam, on the falls themselves as they're going down in a downward motion, and it gives it body. It gives it that whitewater body. It shows in a way that looks like it's spraying off, and I mean, it turned. Well, you go and looked at the photos. I think it turned out very good. I had pretty high praise from a lot of people about it, and I feel good about that.
It turned out awesome.
It looks real, actually. It looks real. And when you start photographing it, even up close, you're going, oh my gosh, it's like white water. So kudos to Kathy Malott for that video, and I want to thank her profusely for putting those videos out that was able to teach me. Her and Doug had some videos as well on doing the rock scenery and the vegetation around the rocks on the backside, the vegetation around the river, how you plant that stuff. I mixed they say you should mix at least 3 different types of vegetation. I mixed on the backside with the river going in. It's a vegetation all over, and I must have mixed 15 different kinds of vegetation. It looks awesome. I painted some mini print deer, and I printed a buck and a doe bent over drinking out of the water. And that was I don't know who made that one. I think it might have been Bachman or somebody. But then I needed a buck, no actual buck, because the one from Bachman is an elk. Okay, and it has the horns, but it looks like it's an elk. There's a big difference. They have a big, giant, furry patch on the front of their chest.
Yeah.
It was an elk. Okay, and their horns go different. So from Mini Prints, I got a hold of miniprints.com and ordered a deer, and I ordered some eagles, American eagles. And I'll get to that story as a funny story tonight. And I painted the deer, and I put them back there, and they really make it look cool. The buck's standing in the middle of the creek, and the deer's on the side of the creek drinking out of the water, and the buck's standing guard, and it looks pretty cool.
When you were telling me the other night how hard it was to get them to stand up.
Well, I got them to stand up, so I just not tacky glue. Hobby tack.
Tacky glue.
Yes.
I want to talk about tacky glue.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
for the end of my story, my diorama, it's looking pretty cool. So I'm getting to the point. All I need is people, cars, little metal pieces, and junk piles and things like that. Those types of things. It's all finishing touches, and then it'll be coming to your house in a week or so, I guess.
Nice. Well, maybe next weekend we can get down here and work. Tacky glue. I got a good tip on tacky glue, and this is actually a tip. It's a tip on a tip.
Yeah.
So tacky glue. I put a Facebook post up about this. If you guys are on our Facebook page or you didn't see it, this will be not new news. If you're already on our Facebook, you'll have already seen this. But apparently, the upside down tacky glue bottles, Aleene's doesn't make them anymore. Which is weird, because it was the best thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aleene's tacky glue on its own is an awesome product. I'm not going to ever bash Aleene's tacky glue, because you and I use it
I love it. I use it
all the time. I use it for almost everything.
Right.
Short of putting together the wood craftsman kits, I just use regular old Type-On wood glue from Lowe's.
Right.
But for almost everything else, I use tacky glue. Because, it dries a little quicker. It's not as aggressive, and it doesn't wear down solvent-based paints like a CA glue would do. Yeah. Like a CA glue will basically melt your plastic and your paints.
Right.
If you're using those kinds of paints. But your tacky glue won't. So you and I, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners here, we go through a lot of glue. And Aleene's, I think, might be my number 2 glue, period. Wood glue, Type Bond from Lowe's or Home Depot. Generic Type Bond wood glue is my number 1. Number 2, and it's a close number 2, is Aleene's tacky glue.
Right.
But the problem is, a couple years ago, Aleene's started doing those upside down bottle caps, which were the best thing since Aleene's tacky glue. It's like
they were awesome.
It's like the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And now you can't find it.
I know, because you didn't have to worry about your bottle being waiting for all that glue to.
Right. You don't have to wait 4 hours. You don't have to wait 4 hours for it to finally make its
go to the tip.
It's like a lava flow. You don't got to wait for the lava flow to creep an inch an hour.
Right.
Yeah. Especially for a bottle that was over halfway done, you didn't have to sit there and shake it till your triceps hurt.
Yeah.
Or your biceps hurt, whatever.
It's always ready when
it's ready to go.
Position. Yeah,
but now I can't. Now
you remember to keep it upside down.
Well, but with the Aleene's upside down cap, it's easy.
Right. But there are times that I had it where I've been working with it.
Yeah,
and not pay attention, and you sit it back.
Yeah,
on the
I know.
And you're like, son of a bitch, it has it built in, and I didn't use it.
Out of habit, it just happens.
Yeah.
But either way, cutting to the chase. The upside down cap from Aleene's was the greatest thing invented.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to find now. Like, you go to Michael's, you can't find that.
Yeah,
I couldn't find it the other day.
Hobby Lobby doesn't have them either.
Right. So I have 2 coveted upside down Aleene's tacky glue caps that I saved from past bottles. And I think for Christmas, you gave me a bottle of the Super Tack and then the regular Aleene's
I got you a bottle of the quick dry tacky glue.
That's what it is, yeah.
That stuff is amazing.
I didn't even
love it.
Listen, I didn't believe it was better than regular So first of all, a regular Aleene's is awesome.
Yeah, it's great on its own.
And then the quick dry, I was like, how much better than can it get? Aleene's
quick dry white, by the way. Quick dry white.
Right, yeah. But do you agree that regular Aleene's is awesome?
It is.
So first time
it's just as good. It just doesn't take as long. It takes a hair longer to dry.
My apprehension was like, how much better can it be? And then I was doing these little detail parts for the post office I was building, which I want to talk about in a little bit.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna try the quick dry Aleene's, and honestly, within 2 minutes, I was able to just walk away from those detail parts once they were placed where I wanted them to be.
Oh yeah.
And now Aleene's, you might have to wait 3.
Yeah.
But you don't. I don't have to. Now I don't even have to sit through a commercial break on a hockey game to wait for it to dry. I can just tack it on, hold it for 30 seconds, and I know it's in 30 seconds it's strong enough to hold on its own.
Yep.
And then in 2 or 3 minutes, I can bump it and it won't even move.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It's great for scenery too.
So, anyways, back to my original point was, if you can find or you already have any of the remaining upside down caps from Aleene's, save them. Yeah. Save those caps. Those are because they fit on the regular bottles of Aleene's.
Yeah.
The original or even the super Aleene's. The
big giant bottles too.
All of the cap sizes, they all have the same thread.
Yep.
So save the upside down caps because you can just put them on any new bottle you get. You just all I do is I take a little bit of I have an old awl that I have an old awl, like a punch, and I just go in and I scrape out the old glue and I just screw it on the new bottle and it's good to go.
Oh yeah.
Also, another side note to a side note.
Mm-hmm.
What is more satisfying than on your old Type Bond wood glue bottles or any Elmer's wood glue or whatever, what is more satisfying than picking off the old glue from the cap inside the cap and then putting the new cap back on and then having a full flow of glue?
I gotta admit,
that's like one of the best
it's
feelings
pretty
in life.
Fun. We're weird like that.
You ever get to the point with a wood glue bottle where you're like, the cap should be putting out like a ton of glue, and it's like this microscopic drip that you get, and then once you clean it, once you clean it out and you pick out all the dry glue, and you get it's almost like picking a really good booger. You get like you get like, it's like clearing your sinuses, and you can breathe again, and you know now you can breathe.
Right.
It's like that with a wood glue. Like, oh, now I can squirt out as much wood glue as I want.
Oh my God.
And then the problem is you ever have this problem? Okay, I don't know if we've ever talked about this nuanced of a wood glue topic.
Okay.
Or glue topic.
Right.
What do you squirt your wood glue on now? I know we used to talk about Post-it notes. I'll tell you what I have. You ready?
Yeah.
Do you know the DPM models?
Yeah.
That have the thick white
DPM bottles?
Yeah. What about it?
What are DPM bottles?
All right. Okay, so as much as we don't like to talk about plastic models, how can you shit on the original DPM buildings?
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? What are DPM models?
Oh, I thought you said DPM bottles.
Models.
I said, what the hell's a DPM bottle?
No.
DPM, no, I must have just heard you wrong.
DPM models.
No, I know what DPM models are. Yeah,
They're like the cornerstone of the original, like, getting into.
It's what made model railroading buildings detailed.
Yeah.
And even though there were people making fine scale wood structures, which were beautiful, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
We're not taking anything away from either side.
No way, because there were people that were making them, and there were kits that were out before DPM that were awesome and are still out today. However, DPM brought a lot of people into the hobby.
And I would reason to,
because they could actually make a building. To look real.
I would place bets on that most people, when they were starting out, had a DPM model.
Absolutely.
It's like, even now, I would be excited to get a DPM model. Mm-hmm. If I ordered one today on eBay or wherever I found one.
I would do it a whole hell of a lot different.
No, but that's not the point. That's not the point. Because when you buy a DPM model, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yep.
And you know it's going to look good.
It's going to look good, yeah.
It's going to look good. And the detail is going to pop.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to my wood glue story. I'm getting back to glue through DPM models.
Yeah, I don't know where we're going here. But go ahead.
So do you know that thick piece of plastic you get in a DPM model? It's like the thick piece of plastic for the roof.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of white.
Big white. It's just a piece of styrene. White piece of white flat styrene.
It's a big piece of white styrene.
Yeah.
So I have like a 2-inch. I'm measuring.
You would never need a piece that thick.
They always give you twice as much as you need.
Why they went out of business. But
but
I'm just saying, they probably spent a lot of money on styrene.
They were bankrupted on styrene. Anyways,
that shit's not cheap in the store, by the sheet, So I don't know. But go ahead.
So in today's terms, I have $50 worth of styrene that I use for glue. But anyways, I have a 2.5 by 2-inch rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
Of roofing styrene that I saved from a DPM kit, and I use that for my glue.
Yeah.
You know why? Remember when we were first starting this podcast in 2017? That is now 6 years ago.
Right.
6 years, Dad. Anyway,
that's some scary stuff. I did not realize that.
I know. We were talking about putting wood glue on Post-it notes, and you could just rip off the next piece.
Yeah.
right,
And we thought that was fascinating.
this is better.
Woohoo!
This is better. This is better.
Okay.
So 2.5. I have almost a square piece of styrene, 2.5 by a little over 2 inches,
Right.
and I put my wood glue on that, and I use it the same way I would as a Post-it note. I use a toothpick, and I get it on a toothpick and put it where I need it. Excuse me, where I need it. But you know what the best part about this is?
Pins and needles.
Pins and needles. All right.
Yeah.
Well, once it's dry, you can bend the styrene, and it just pops right off. The little dry. It's the most satisfying thing when the little dry glob of glue just goes.
Yeah.
It pops right off.
Yeah.
And then I got a brand new flat, no glue on it at all piece of styrene that I can just put more glue on. It's like wax paper for glue, and you just pop it off, and then I've had this thing for like a year and a half, and I don't know how much glue I probably put a gallon of glue on it, and it doesn't look like it at all. And that is the greatest thing I've ever used for any type of glue, not CA glue because it would never come off, but like all my wood and white glues, and Aleenes, I put it right on there, and like 24 hours later, I come back. I bend it and it pops right off. I take the little. You ever watch Austin Powers when he saves the little skin flaps? And he, Oh, the piece of skin. I put it in my skin container. Yeah, no, not that. Not what Fat Bastard does with his skin.
Right.
But I just pop it off. I can flake it off, put it in my trash bin, and now I got a whole blank piece of like styrene that looks brand new that I can just put more glue on, so I don't have to go through 1,000 Post-it notes a year.
What the hell is on a Post-it note that nothing goes through it to the next Post-it note? You can put CA glue on that, which will, if you get it on your
God forbid you get it on your fingers.
Oh, actually, I've gotten to the point. Let's have a little CA glue talk here. If you get CA glue on your cutting mat,
it's done.
And you don't get it off. Oh yeah, it's gonna leave a hard knot thing. You can't even, if you pull it off, it's gonna leave a funny mark there and everything else, right? If you put it on a Post-it note, and sure it'll dry on the Post-it note.
But the next
Post-it note, it off, it's perfect.
It's pristine.
Yeah, and like, how's it chew through other? I've mixed CA glue with other stuff and had adverse effects with chemical reactions. Okay,
you probably shouldn't be breathing it in.
Post-it notes. I don't know what Post-it note puts in their paper, but it's insane. Let's go to the CA glue. If you work with CA, I found that if you work with CA glue long enough and enough times that you get it on your fingers, along with everything else we do in model railroading, you do enough model railroading, scenery, building making, everything else, your fingertips turn into like leather saddle work for a horse.
I feel like I have ranch hands after I'm done working with CA glue.
Leather, they're made of leather now, right?
I'm ready to be on
that could be because I played, half my life I played hockey and made a living at a hockey.
No, it's not that.
And my hands were I worked hard. I
feel like I got Barbie doll hands when I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And that may be because I'm
soft hands.
No.
Right. But,
same. I mean, I worked in the trades for a while too. Like I got calluses.
Right. When I first started working in this hobby with super glue or crazy glue or the CA glue, and you'd accidentally get on your fingers, you panic, and then you're like, oh my God, how am I going to get it off? And
I don't even think about it now.
Rub it until it got off. Now I don't even think about it. I get them on my fingers. My fingers stick together, and I just pull them apart.
Yep.
They just come apart naturally, and then some white shit on there, and then you got to scratch it off with your fingernail.
The better thing is, like, I wake up,
sand it.
So my morning routine, like my daily routine, I take my showers in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm just a morning shower guy. It's my part of my routine. But
right.
I've been in situations where, like, 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm at work now. And it's, I'm 12 hours removed from working from anything modeling related.
Right.
And I'm still sitting at work, like, picking shit off my fingers at my desk at work.
Yeah. It's bad, though, when you take a piece of sandpaper and you start rubbing it all over the padded fingertips.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Off.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
no,
now
I've
I
done
got
it.
this other stuff. This other stuff is in a green bottle made by the same people that do all the stuff, which would be all this stuff is made by Bob Smith Industries. Okay.
Yeah.
This stuff you get. And a lot of the companies, a lot of hobby shops, they rebottle it and relabel it.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's all made by Bob Smith Industries. So,
It's like a white label.
They make yes, they make a bottle with a green label called Uncure. Okay, and it's a liquid you just pour it on it, and it makes it separate. It's made to put on the model so that way you can remove or take things off of something if you glue it by accident or glue it in the wrong place.
Right.
But I take it sometimes and squirt it on my fingertips and then rub it in and wash my hands with it. And once the water hits it, it starts to burn. Not like burn like skin burn, although it's probably doing that, and I don't really realize it. I'm probably going to die.
It's slowly seeping into your kidneys and liver.
It gets warm, it gets warm.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you feel it, and you're like, this isn't good for my body.
yeah, but you know what? It got the glue off. but So then I use that orange gel, that Go Gel stuff.
Yeah.
You can get it at the hardware
Go Gel
stores.
or whatever.
I have a giant jug of that with a pump on the top. Sits in the sink here next to my workbench. I have a workbench, and right next to
have
me
a workbench?
at my workbench I have a bath. Well, right next to my workbench is the bathroom. I mean, I'm literally 4.5 feet away from the bathroom. There's a which is nice. It's like my own bathroom for my workshop. If you don't have one for your own workshop, you're missing out.
You need to install one.
But I have a sink with a vanity and everything else, so I can do all my cleaning in there real quick.
He could do his makeup real quick.
I can do my makeup. I can brush my teeth with the Bob Smith Industry glue, and
a wire brush.
We're not even gonna go. But yeah, I mean, so this stuff. But what happens to our skin after a while as modelers? We don't even fear the
I'm over it.
The CA glue anymore.
I'm over it.
Here's the only time I fear CA glue. I wear glasses. I fear that CA glue is going to slip or splash.
It's ruin your lenses.
Glasses and ruin my lenses. Right?
Are you
That's the only time I fear.
This is not good, and I apologize to anybody listening. Are you past the point of caring about like when you're spray painting?
Anything.
When you're spray painting something or whatever?
I'm almost 60. I'm past the point of caring about anything.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. No, what was it? What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, are you past the point of like when you're spray painting? Like, okay, I will say, if I'm spray painting a lot, if I'm using a rattle can,
yeah.
If I'm going to do a lot, I am aware enough to take it outside.
Yeah.
I'll take it outside on our picnic table with a piece of cardboard and I'll spray paint it.
Right.
But if it's like, if I want to prime like, okay, here's a good example. I got
do it 2 feet right from your workbench right there.
I do. I have I painted a little piano. I'm going to put out, the jazz bar you made like eons ago?
Yeah.
I have a little die cast piano. I'm going to put outside the jazz bar.
Jazz bar did I make?
You made
Yeah,
a long time ago you made it. It's a Foscale kit.
Right. Yep, I did. Yep.
So it's just a little tiny piano. It's a grand piano, but it's a little piano, and I forget where I even got it. I don't know where I got it. It doesn't matter. I think I got it from Best Castings.
Okay.
Anyways, doesn't matter.
They got like 4 different kinds of pianos.
Well, anyways, I got a piano.
There's lots of pianos in the world.
I got a piano. I'm pretty sure it's from Best.
Yeah.
But I recently was like, I want to paint. I was kind of in between projects, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes, and I'm going to paint this piano. But I didn't want to go outside. It was cold. So,
right.
And you've done this, where you're like, it's one piece. I'm going to just hit it real quick.
It's real quick. It's not very big.
I'm going to hit it real quick with the primer.
Zip zap. Zap done.
But then you're sitting there, and you're sitting there in a cloud of like spray paint can primer. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to paint this piano.
Yeah,
listen, if I'm
10 years
84,
off my life
if I'm
and-
82 years old and they said, it looks like you were exposed to too much spray paint. Fine, whatever. I'll deal with that when I'm 82.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny.
I'm thinking the same.
You know what it is?
I don't do it a whole lot.
No.
And, I'm gonna that's gonna take me into my funny story tonight.
If I'm
But you go ahead.
real quick, it's a balance.
It's very related
In
It's
this
very,
hobby,
very
though,
related.
in this hobby and in life in general, it's a balance of risk and reward.
Right.
Like, okay,
If I'm standing in a cloud of spray paint all day long,
I'm going outside
in my shop with no ventilation, then that's one thing. But if I'm going to zip zap it real quick with a paint thing, and the fumes are going to hit me for like, I don't know, 15 seconds, I ain't worrying about that.
and there's the other
I
side
do
of
it
it.
maybe once every couple months.
Well,
you know?
the advantage of my basement here is I got that big garage door.
Right.
So there's been times where you and I have been down here like, that smell's really getting to us down here. I'm like, all right, I'll just open the door up.
Right.
And we get that.
In 12 to 14 steps, I can be out the door and
Right.
spray painting it.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me, I just if it's a big thing I'm doing, I'll open the garage door or I'll go outside and ventilate.
Correct.
But if it's like, man, I just want to get this piano done. I don't want to go through a whole bunch of steps. I'll just real quick and then I'll prime it real fast. Wait 10 minutes while the primer dries and I'll paint it. But it's like I said, it's a balance of risk reward, even with CA glue or anything we're working with. Where
Sure.
yeah, in 40 years, am I gonna have to deal with that? Who knows? But tonight I want to paint that damn piano.
Right.
Like,
Without having to go outside.
I'll explain to my doctor when I'm older. Well, hey, I used to paint miniature die-cast figures of pianos and men playing them, but I wanted to get it done that night.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, let's talk about this eagle.
Okay. So- yeah.
Before you go into that, can I talk about my post office?
Yes, please.
All right. So this was a Kid of the Month club from Foscale Models. It is the first one in a while that I haven't kit bashed. You know?
Right. Sure.
So I've done a couple. The Kid of the Month club.
Gulp of beer.
That's okay. Well, half of it was on your lap, so you can just suck it out of your.
This is a different bottle.
Oh, I was gonna say you can just suck it out of your jeans there. But, anyways, the Kid of the Month. Listen, this is not. Doug is not telling us to do this. Foscale Models is not telling you to do this. Kid of the Month Club from Foscale Models
Is awesome.
If you haven't already, this is not a paid promotion. This is not any of that.
Nope.
But we get, if you're part of it, you already understand. You get a Kid of the Month, 1 month every month for however long. I think he has a 6-month plan and a 1 year plan.
Yeah, we just do the 1 year renew.
Right. But the thing that's cool about it is every month you get a cool kit, and sometimes it's a background kit, sometimes it's a boat. We got a barge to do yet.
Yeah.
The variety is endless, and to be honest, I think what it is
You and I, we split it. One of us gets one.
Well, it's kind of not. It's not that even because what ends up happening is they get mailed to me, but then when my dad comes over here, I go, hey, leaf through the Kid of the Months that we have here and take what you want.
Yeah.
And then you take a few, and then we part ways, and you do.
Right, I got like 6 or 7 of them right now. That's the next thing. It's coming up, by the way.
We've talked about this before, but what's really cool about them, and like I said, I promise this is not a paid promotion.
Right.
Is the thing that's cool about the Kid of the Month kit is you can do one, like I just did, the post office, or you can wait and store them up. And what was that? I did a garage where I put like
kit bash a couple.
I did 3 kits in one. I just kit bashed them all together, and I made this weird.
And Jason Jensen's done that too.
Yeah, Jason's a great example of it.
Right.
I did this weird kit bash where I made this crazy wonky looking building, but it fits perfectly into a little corner that I need.
Yeah.
And no one else will ever have that structure.
He tried to call me, by the way, tonight, right before the podcast.
Oh no.
And I missed his call. So, hey, Jason, I'll get a hold of you before tomorrow when we post this, so.
He'll be right back. BRB. So, anyways, I did the post office recently, which was the kid of the month from like June 2021 or something. I don't know. It's like over a year old.
Right.
But where was I getting with that?
I don't know.
Anyways,
You were saying about kit bashing.
Yeah. Anyways, so I kit bashed that garage, which it's done. It's ready to go in the layout. It's got a spot on the layout. It's actually going near. Oh, side story. I'm making a baseball field. I think we talked about that last time on the podcast.
Right.
I found a scale baseball field, which is actually technically a softball field.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that a baseball field was from plate to plate is 90 feet.
Yeah.
And look at your.
Well, it could be a little league baseball field.
Well, I did a softball field, which is
okay.
not as far.
Yeah, who's going to break it down as to what it is?
Who cares?
Go ahead.
Who cares?
It's a ball field.
Yeah, it's actually kind of the what do you call it? Like you can when we do these kind of things, you can kind of bend reality.
Where did you find a softball field?
I just looked up dimensions of. I looked on Google.
Oh, you looked at dimensions. You're just going to make it from scratch.
I looked on Google and I said, "What are the?"
I thought you bought something.
No. I went on Google and I said, "What are the dimensions of a softball field?"
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, well, that will fit.
That's workable.
It'll fit in the corner that I have."
Right.
Which the corner, you know where I'm talking about, where the rocks come down off that little ravine I made.
Yeah.
It's opposite. So we have the terminal kit that I did, the big yearly kit that Doug does from Fuscale. The terminal, which is probably 3 years ago. I did that, but opposite the track of that, opposite side of the track, I have like a weird, you know what the area was. It was weird.
Yeah.
So I cut it out and I put a huge ravine in, like a rock ravine in the middle of the city.
Right.
It would be kind of the thing where, you know, a city has developed around it and it was like a rock outcropping or some bedrock they didn't know what to do with, so they just built around it. But in there is a little V-shaped piece of land, and I'm like, what can I put in the weird V shape?
Yeah.
And we talked about this on a phone call, but I put a little baseball/softball field in, which if it's just like a church league or a little local league softball or baseball, you know, group, it'd be fine. And you can kind of, we've talked about this before where you can kind of exaggerate scale a little bit, where some things, if you did them true to scale, I think we talked about this with Stephen Hayworth actually, where you can kind of exaggerate scale to fit where you need it based on the perspective. I remember vividly talking with Steven about this, where if things are kind of set back into your layout, you can exaggerate the scale a little bit to kind of make it smaller to fit where you need it. But it makes sense optically, like to your eye, it makes sense.
Forced perspective.
Yeah, that's what it is. So if I took a baseball field, a major, like a regulation baseball field, whether it's high school, college, or MLB, they're all the same size. And I scaled it down to a softball field size, it fits where I need it. But when you look at it to the eye, when I measure it out, it's still big enough in the area that it sits to like when the average person sees it, they're gonna go, "Oh, that's a baseball. You know, it's a church league baseball field."
Right. Yeah.
And how many churches do you see in a rural area that have a little field or a baseball? Like,
lots of them.
In our area alone, and just in modern day times, tons of churches have little baseball fields in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
So I added that. I'm building a little baseball field. I cut out little tiny plates out of just computer paper.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna weather them so they look like little plates. And I'm gonna put that in there. And
bags, you mean? There's one plate.
Bags. I'm sorry, bags. Yes, bags.
Okay.
I didn't play baseball. Excuse me. They're all plates.
I'm just being a dick.
No. But
okay.
I didn't play baseball, so excuse me. So I'm putting a miniature baseball field in. But back to the post office. The post office is gonna go right in basically the first baseline, right along the edge of that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. It's like a civic building, and it's a civic building tied into like some other little tiny community type buildings that are going to go right alongside that, like a garage, a civic building. I have that. I still have the Campbell scale models fire station I need to build, and down the street from us in Walnut Bottom, Pennsylvania, there's a post office and a baseball field right next to a fire station.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm trying to do is kind of create that little like hometown, like civic type park area in that weird section of the town that we didn't really know what to do with, which is kind of like it's like the gut of the city where it's like, there's a low-lying area. We didn't really know what to put in there. We had some ideas initially. We had a garage in there. That building that Mom made, we had in there. And we didn't really know what to do with it because it's just a weird like hill section.
Right.
So what I did was I flattened some of it out. I created some steeper ravine-type walls. And I'm just going to put all the civic-type buildings in there, like a fire station, the post office, the baseball field. I have that little church that I did from a couple months back from Foscale Models. I'm going to put that all right in that little gut of the town, and it's going to be like the little community.
Suburb.
It's like a community area
the
where
old style. Suburb.
Yeah, you got the church and the post office, and there's a baseball field. It's going to be like a little community center right there.
Right. It's where the big city, and then just outside you have this little softer country.
It separates the industry section from the city.
Right.
And you have that garage you did from Casey's workshop, that model you did. What was that garage name? Goober's Garage? Is that the Goobers?
Yeah, they'll be the kids at school that show up in the overalls.
Yeah,
at the city school, and the other kids make fun of them.
It's a kid It's a kids that go to Tech Ed. but you have like it's like the blue collar section.
Right, yeah, I get it.
So I'm kind of working on that right now with the baseball field and the church and the post office, kind of in that little hometown vibe. It's like the hometown section.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone, it's like where the jocks and the overalls kids hang out.
Yeah.
The kids, it's the kids that had pickup trucks and the cherry bombs on their hot rod style cars growing up. That's where they're gonna hang out.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I'm working on that part. I kind of want it to have like that parky. It's like a park vibe. I want that like. It's a civic section of town where there's a playground, a baseball field, post office, church, fire station. Every small town has that area of town.
Right. Sure.
So that's what's going in that little gut of a city.
Nice. That's cool.
All right, let's talk about the eagle. I didn't mean to get into that. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry to get off on this again. The Kit of the Month Club, the post office kit, and some kits since then, Doug has been throwing in his 3D printed detail parts.
Yeah.
And the post office
castings are resin, 3D resin.
The 3D printed parts.
They're nice, yeah.
He threw in post office boxes.
Oh, nice.
And like mailboxes. Like the kind that you pull the door down on the box and they go
the blue box.
Yeah, they go and you put your mail in it and then they go when you slam it shut. All right. So, I want to talk about this. So, when you go to the post office, and I don't know if I don't know if every town has this, but I've seen them in Newville, near where I live. There and some smaller towns around our area. You have your blue boxes, right? Did I show you? Did I tell you about this?
Yep, you talked about this with me.
So you have, and I think this is a cool little nuance to a town.
Yeah.
You have your blue.
A lot of people don't know this, but go ahead.
You have your blue boxes, which are the outgoing mail, and then you have the green box, which is like an army color green, like an olive green.
Right.
And I've since I looked this up, I've seen them in the area. They're not quite green anymore. They're kind of like a weird gray, baby poop, brown green color.
Gotcha.
They're called repeater boxes. And what it is when you are a foot carrier, basically. Like when you're every town has one.
When you're a postal guy.
When you're a postal person, but you don't have a truck.
Right. You're a walker, a footer.
The green box.
Dan Banks will tell you what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. The green box is a repeater box. From what I looked up. I'm sure there's a different name in the industry.
Right.
But the green box is one that you can't put mail into, but it's shaped like a mailbox, like the postage box.
Right.
And that one is for the carrier to walk around, and when they're on their route and they're ready to pick up more mail to deliver, they open that box up and they restock their carrier bag, their carrier bag or the route,
for and the rest of the route.
Right. Yeah. So Doug had on the picture of his model kit that he had for example, the one box was painted green, and for whatever in my brain clicked, and it said, "Why is that one green? I got to look up why it's green." Because the other two he painted blue. And I wanted to know why the other one was green. So I looked up what the green mailbox was. And it's basically it's a restock mailbox. So when the mail carrier is going through his route, he runs low, he goes to the repeater box, and it's already preloaded with his mail that he needs to get. He pulls it out, restocks his route, and then continues on his day. So that's a neat little thing. If you're doing mailboxes in your city, think about, don't just doing them all that blue, the typical blue that we do, because if you have a carrier who's on foot, or a carrier even in a truck that needs to restock their route, they're pulling them out of that green box. So if you're driving around and you see those green boxes that you can't put your mail into, that's what that is, which was a weird little history lesson on the postal service that I never knew before.
Don't say
that.
We don't learn anything on this.
I never knew that before I built my little post office. And the only reason I did that was because I was looking at the picture on the front of the Kid of the Month, and I was wondering why the one was green.
Okay.
And I would have.
Now we know.
But if I didn't look it up, I would have just mindlessly painted it either blue or green and not known why.
Right.
But I wanted to know why it was green because it intrigued me. Like, what's the green mailbox mean?
That's U.S. Army mail.
It's Army mail. No, it's called a repeater box, and it's basically to restock the mail carrier's route. Anyway, I just found it interesting. Like, I never knew that before I went through 33 years of life not knowing what that mailbox meant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. That's a little lesson.
Cool. So.
All right, let's talk about the eagle.
I forgot the story now.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so I wanted mini prints when I ordered the bald eagle, American bald eagle. It comes with three beagles. It comes with three eagles. Okay, one is just sitting with his wings closed in around him, and he would sit like up on high in a perch or in a nest or whatever on the top of a pole or in a tree. And the other one has his wings completely spread like he's flying, although he's not really. How do you present that, right? And he's standing in the perch with his wings completely spread, which is what I may do with that one. Okay. The third one is the one I wanted. Okay, the most. It has his wings spread, and I saw it on a picture on their website of him swooping down over the water, and
like he's catching a fish.
His talons. His yellow talons are going into in the water.
It's like he's catching a fish.
Yeah, he doesn't have talons on the model. On the castings are incredible. Just like all mini print castings. And by the way, since we're on this subject, before I tell this extremely funny story, or extremely to me, next week we have a guest. It will be Bernard from Mini Prints, and he's going to be with us. And it's going to be a great time. Bernard Helen.
Did we have him on already?
We did, but we're now
this is going to be
because This is a special one. He has now learned how to clone us in the HO scale, and he's going to talk to us all about it.
This is going to be exciting
next week. It's right before he leaves to go to Springfield for the big show. So, and he'll be up there cloning people. We're going to get the whole story about how he does it, the whole works. I'm also going to talk to him about his animals and stuff like we did before, but I'm going to talk to him a little bit about my experiences. And then I was going to talk tonight about painting figures, but I think next week will be perfect to be talking about our techniques with him and his techniques.
This is going to be
figures. And I'll compare my notes and how I do it with how he does it, and how maybe some of the people he sells to does it. Maybe he'll have some tips. We'll find out. And
you know what's going to be awesome about it?
It's going to be a good show.
You know what's going to be awesome about it?
What?
It'll be almost 2 years to the day since we spoke with Bernard last.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the last time we had Bernard on was in January of 2021.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
2 years later, Bernard's have a lot. Obviously, from what my dad just said, he's had a lot of advancements in what he can do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Bernard has a lot of cool new things that he's doing that he can update us on. So it'll be cool after almost 2 years to get an update from Bernard and chat with him. And it's cool to just get longtime guests from ways back onto the show.
Can I tell my fucking eagle story now?
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel attacked.
Oh my god!
All I was trying to do is say it's been almost.
We've already paused the eagle story 4 times tonight. So
all I'm trying to say was it's been quite a while since we've had Bernard on, and it's awesome to have him on again.
I'm sorry, I just thought that was funny.
Jeez.
So we got.
Okay, continue, please, my highness.
I had to listen to you tell me how the mailboxes work 3 times. So anyhow.
Stop it.
The eagle. I wanted him to swoop down into the water at the base of my waterfall, in the water where it actually turns into where the white water ends or comes to the base and turns into the river. Okay, and he'll be swooping down to the river, and I want him to snatch a fish out of the water. And you can see those photos of him. I painted him last night. You can see the photos of him on our Facebook and Instagram. Okay, that said, last night I'm watching a hockey game. After the hockey game, I thought I'd come in and dig out the eagle and get him done. Since the waterfall's done now, it's done. Aside from adding some vegetation along the sides and stuff I want to do, but that's going to be easy, glue in place things, But anyhow, I dig them out of a little plastic box. When they come in these really nice, well-packaged plastic boxes, and there's a reason for that.
Is it the kind you want to save?
They're so damn fragile, huh?
Is it the kind of packaging you want to save?
You can save the little plastic boxes in them, yes.
Yes, okay. That's the best.
The little tiny bubble wrap inside, and they're really nice.
Tell me more. I want to hear more about it.
Well, okay.
I love it. I love the plastic boxes. No, those little containers are good for other things in the future.
Oh, yeah. So I dug the eagle out that I wanted, and I put him on. I had to primer him, right? Because he's made of the resin casting, so right. I want to primer him. So I took a piece of tape, masking tape, rolled it into a loop. It's cold outside, but I didn't inhale the fumes inside like Brett was talking about. Not this time, anyways.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I took my little cardboard thing that I spray on, which are, by the way, when I do spraying, I have these boards. My wife does a lot of sewing and clothing making and things like that with cloth. She's a big into seamstress stuff, and as a hobby and a craft. But anyhow. She sometimes gets cloth on a bolt. No, the bolt is actually a flat piece of cardboard in a funky shape. It's like a cardboard board. It looks like a shelf board, but it's made of cardboard. Okay, some are shorter, some are longer, and this one's maybe a foot, maybe 18 inches. And let's see. It is 22 inches. And I put rolled a piece of masking tape into a loop, stuck it on there, and then placed him onto that sticky tape very, very gently. You want to handle these mini print things very, very, very gently. They're very delicate. Okay. So I don't want them breaking. So, and he's got these very delicate wings and talons and a tail. Okay. So I put him on and I took him outside with a gray can of spray pants. And I took him out on my front porch. Okay. Which is, has a wooden deck rail on it and everything, which is cool. And I went out there, and I'm in my slippers and a T-shirt and a pair of sweatpants, right, Brett? Because it's 10 o'clock at night. Okay? I got to work the next morning. So I didn't really think I was going to be up late. I didn't want to be up too late. But I wanted to at least get him primered and let him sit overnight. And then the next day when I got home from work, I could finish him up. Because it's tiny. I mean, real tiny. This piece is very tiny. It's smaller than your people figures that you have it's half the size of a human HO scale figure. Okay, at least, except for the wingspan. Anyways, I put him on this thing, took him outside on this thing, and from about, maybe 14 inches, 15 inches away, I started spraying the gray paint real quick just to nail him, Right. And I nailed it a little bit, and then I kind of wanted to get under the wings while he was on there, so I kind of turned it at an angle, and when I did, whoof, he went off of it and landed. I couldn't find him. He went off, and he went down off the porch. It's about a 5-foot drop, and down onto the sidewalk.
I'm loving this already.
The wooden steps. There's the steps, and there's like leaves that blew there the last couple of weeks from the winter up along into the corner. There's these busted up leaves. They're not my leaves. They're my asshole neighbor's leaves who doesn't really clean up his leaves. They don't clean their leaves up. So they end up blowing in my yard after I clean them all up. Everybody's got neighbors like that, right? So they're not my leaves.
Hey, I want to say, wait,
maybe 20 leaves.
I want to defend myself real quick because I feel attacked.
Oh, okay. Well, too bad. If you don't clean your leaves up and you're not a good neighbor and they blow into other people's yards, then you're an asshole.
Well, so hear me out.
Just what?
I don't clean up all my leaves.
Yeah.
But then again, I live on a field.
Yeah. Well, that's different.
My leaves blow into my neighbor's yard. And in my neighbor's yard, they blow into the next yard. And in the next yard, they blow into the next field.
So your whole neighborhood's a bunch of assholes.
But they all blow into the mountain.
Oh, okay. Well, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So,
I want to defend rural living.
I had this down there. There's some tan bark that blows up there and everything from the flower beds over on the side. It's hard to explain. Next to the porch there, I also have my big garbage cans out that night because I have the garbage coming, right? So I had them sitting there, and I didn't roll them out yet to the road. But there's two big plastic, one's a recycle, one's a regular garbage can. And they were right next to the top of my front porch. Okay, so it blows off from the spray paint, and now I'm panicking. Okay, because I had to get this thing from Canada. It ships down. I know Bernard will help me out. He'd probably send me one if I called him. I don't want to do that. I want to get this damn thing done and put it onto my water. I'm at that point now. Well, I want to do these things, and I want to visualize it, and I want to see it. I don't want to wait another week for this thing to come in the mail from Ontario. So, so I'm out. I went in the house real quick, grabbed the flashlight, tried to visualize where I thought maybe it fell. So I'm down there on the sidewalk. First of all, you're walking very gingerly, checking out with a bright flashlight as best I can so I can find myself a starting point to get down on my knees in the cold. It's 28 degrees, and I'm crawling around down there on the ground, on the concrete of my sidewalks with a flashlight looking along the corners and edges around my porch and stuff. It goes just a little bit underneath my porch where the steps are. And there is that's where the leaves were gathered, and I had like rocks and tan bark there, and I'm like, oh shit! And I'm sorting through all this stuff. In the middle of it, my flashlight battery goes down. they're dying. He goes dim, you know, and I'm like, oh, you kidding me? It's an LED. It's gonna last forever. You think, right?
And just
So,
to
it's the batteries.
and just to give everyone perspective, you're trying to find an eagle.
Yes.
That is about
and he's
less than 1/8 of an inch.
half the size of my pinky fingernail. Okay, maybe half the size of my.
An eighth of an inch.
Right. So, and he's gray now. He's not blue anymore. He was blue before I painted him. If it was blue, I might have found him. Now he's gray. He's blending in with everything. It's winter, right? So I go.
Thank God it wasn't in the summer when there's like weeds and stuff.
I get up praying that I'm not going to step on him. He went the other direction. I didn't check out with the flashlight yet. And I'm walking through there thinking, oh my God, if I stepped on him, he's done. Okay. And I went in and I got a flashlight. And I got the same. I opened the flashlight up, put new batteries in, came back out. Took 4 AAA batteries, by the way.
Was it the little lanterns you have by your door?
No, I got one of those too. I had one of those things out there too. But this is a little flashlight. It's real super bright, like major looms. Like for a flashlight, it has like 1,200
lumens,
and that's pretty damn. Huh?
Lumen.
I just shorten it and call them looms.
Okay, cool.
Okay, whatever. You can give them the technical term.
All right, fine.
Lumens. So I had 1,200 lumens, and I went out there and I was shining it, and I'm going through every leaf, every tan bark piece, everything. I was picking up stones, things. I think I looked through those leaves like 3 times. I'm freaking out, right? It's a half an hour. Now I'm cold, and I'm like, screw this. And I get up, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a hold of Bernard. I'm gonna have them sent. By the way, I moved the garbage cans out just so they're out of the way. And then I picked them up and I moved them back. I rolled them back into place where they were. And I turned the flashlight off and I went to put the brick on top of the garbage can. I have a brick for each one of my garbage can lids because they're on hinges. And when it gets windy, they blow up and they start banging all the time.
Yeah, that's a northeastern problem.
Right. So I went to put the brick back on top of the garbage can lid, and there he was sitting on top of the garbage can lid. Right there, all perfectly
in
painted,
pristine condition.
Now I'm pissed, right? I'm happy. I'm elated, actually, that I found him, and now I pick him up and I bring him in here, and I painted him till 12:30 in the morning because now I'm on a mission that he's getting done, and I'm never gonna mess or screw up with him again. You know, I want him done so I can't break him, lose him, or feel bad about this eagle. I want him done and on my artwork, you know, or on my diorama. But yeah, it was one of those nights, you know. I'm shivering and everything else. I was kind of stupid and didn't wear a coat when I went out, you know.
You wear a coat?
So that was my funny story. Huh?
You wear a coat?
Well, if I go out and it's below 30 degrees.
I'll tell you right now.
And I'm out in the yard. Sometimes I didn't wear a coat originally. I was only going to be out there to spray paint and bring them in the house and I'll be done. Right? I didn't think I need a coat. So I didn't put one on because I'm panicking about worrying about them. Yeah, I know you don't wear coats.
No. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh.
I'm sitting in a basement, cold basement.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing the Costco fleece coat that you got me like 3 years ago.
I love them.
They're the best things ever.
Took mine off. I had to take mine off over here. It's laying here. I had it on tonight too.
They're the best things ever.
They are. They're awesome. They got the pockets on the side. They're the best things ever. I had 3 of them now.
I have 3. You got me an Orvis one, and you got me 2 other ones that are like other non-name brands. But they're the best coats I have.
Oh, they are. They're awesome. They're like house coats. You just wear them everywhere.
I wear them. You know? Yeah, you don't wear them out, and you don't wear them to a nice place.
I wouldn't wear them out anywhere.
No,
but like, although I have worn them to the grocery store real quick to go in and grab something.
The grocery store's different. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I wouldn't wear it to work.
No,
but like in my basement, the one you got me 3 or 4 years ago is like a blue flannel. It's got button and a zipper up in the middle.
Yeah.
That is the best workshop. I'm wearing it right now. It's the best workshop coat you ever got me.
Yeah.
I wear it all the time.
They are warm. They are definitely warm.
They're the best.
Yep.
Anyways,
that's about it, man. I got it. It's about it. We got Bernard next. We have Bernard next week, and then we have with Mini Prince, and then And then that's it. I want to kind of go over talking about painting figures and stuff because I'm going to be painting a lot of figures in the next week to get ready for the finish this diorama off. I'm going to have like 15, 20 people on this thing.
Right.
So, I was going to talk about.
I got one
we
last
had so
thing.
many stories, and I still haven't talked to anybody about my creepy doll stuff that I just purchased to go along.
Now
with
you
Claire
have to.
about No, we're going to save that. We're going to save it.
It's 10:30. I got.
Yeah. We're on 2 hours now.
I got one last thing.
Almost.
I got one last thing.
What?
On Thingiverse.
Yeah.
I found
you're
those street
printing
lamps.
Yeah, how's that going?
So I will say the first set that I printed, ultimate failure. I will say it's a 50% failure. The posts on the street lamps printed perfectly.
Yeah.
But the arms that go out, the decorative arm, that goes out the side.
We're doing some really old-fashioned style street lamps
for
all of our city.
Yeah, I'm 3D printing a whole bunch of decorative, the old gas lamp style. Lamp posts that go out.
Yeah, the beautiful green ones. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first round of printing, remember, was Saturday when I dropped the girls off for you to watch them?
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, I'm printing some those lamps you sent me."
Yeah, you told me.
Or I'm printing the lamps you asked me to build or to print.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that first batch when we were out that night, when I was gone and they were printing, the post from the ground to the top of the post part, printed beautifully. But the decorative arm that goes up to the right and left, my supports, if anyone's in the 3D printing, you'll know what I'm talking about. The supports didn't quite match up correctly, and that's where it got to. So the lamp post is beautiful. It's got the base is beautiful all the way to the decorative top is beautiful.
Yeah.
But the arms go out the side to hold the lamp.
Yeah.
Well, they're just non-existent. So I had to Sunday night I had to retool what I was working on, and I printed a second set. Once I redid the supports, and those ones turned out awesome. Now,
cool.
The problem was I had to print them in two parts, so you have to glue them together with some CA glue, but that's not a big deal. So I did get some double.
What do you mean two parts? What's the first part?
Well, like a left and a right. I had to plan. You have to almost think of it like a DPM or a Bachmann Spectrum. Remember, those really nice Bachmann Spectrum kits where you have to kind of glue the two parts together to make a full piece?
Yeah.
You'll just have to glue them together. To make two parts, make one full lamp set.
Right.
So the second time I did it, I redid the supports, and they printed beautifully. They're just cut in half vertically. So you'll just have to glue the lampposts together. But either way, I got some double lampposts printed that looked awesome. So I'm gonna do a second set and a third set, and then by the time I'm done with the third set here, probably by tomorrow night, because I'm actually while we're recording, I'm printing one right now. You'll have about 28 lampposts ready to go.
Oh wow! 28. I won't even need that many. I only need like maybe 8 of them.
You'll have enough. Well, no, but we'll put them throughout the rest of the city.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And then what the cool thing is, the file that the creator or the maker of that thing on Thingiverse made a single and a double lamppost set.
Nice.
So we'll have ones that are double, and then we'll have ones that are single with a single arm coming off the left or the right that are for a single lamp setup.
Nice.
And by the end of tomorrow night, the first set I did didn't go well. The second set printed well. The third set I'm printing right now as we're recording. That'll be done by early morning tomorrow, but I'll wake up. They'll be done by the time I wake up. And then I'll start another set, and by that time you'll have about 28 or 24 to 28 double lampposts.
Nice.
And then the single lamppost side, They'll be a little quicker to print, but probably by the end of the weekend, we'll have about 36 to 48 lampposts to put together and paint and glue and put down within the city. So
nice.
I'm excited for that. But thanks to Thingiverse and whoever that was that created that. I appreciate it. And if you're into 3D printing, that is a awesome resource to go to find some parts. Now they were originally in G scale, so I had to scale them down, but once they printed, they were fine. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm excited.
Well, I'll drop them off next time I see you. Probably Monday, Martin Luther King Day.
That's right. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Alrighty.
Sounds good. We'll get some wrap here, and we'll post this on Friday night. Sounds good.
Well, I will see you later, and thanks for listening in, and catch you later, freaks.
Peace out.